breaking fucking records radio.
What is it like to have the opportunity to work so internationally and with such household names?
It's crazy because I never thought that shit would happen. You know what I mean? I was the guy for Queens. I loved rapping. I loved hip hop. And I started in the 90s. You know what I mean? I started taking it serious in like 2005, 2004. But like, I grew up listening to Ill Bill and those guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, I was putting their fucking posters up on the wall.
Did that influence you a lot, like being from similar
Definitely,
neighbours?
because they were from Brooklyn and
they're
Queens.
like big guys. Like,
and they actually made something happen. And excuse me, there was a record store called Fat Beats. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, like
in New York, fucking legendary spot. R.I.P. Fat Beats, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
Ill Bill and Q Unique used to work there.
Q Unique and Ill Bill used to work in Fat Beats?
Used to work there at the fucking counter.
I didn't have a job.
And this is like, I'm talking, this is like when Ill Bill was probably like 20. I mean, at that time I was 14 years old, 13. I'm 33 today.
Yeah, well, happy birthday today.
No, not today. I'm just saying today. I'm 33 years old.
Yeah.
And fucking, so that's like 20 years ago. So Bill was a young guy, you know what I mean? And I went in there all the time to buy records. And I went in there and bought a non-fiction record.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that
which one was
the guy whose record I was buying. I Shot Reagan.
Yes.
The first vinyl I ever owned was I Shot Reagan.
That's sick.
And then when I was paying for it, Q Unique was the guy who was ringing me up at the fucking counter. And I knew who he was. I knew who the arsonists were and shit. I was like, well, Q Unique, whatever.
Fucking hell.
And then Bill came up to me. I didn't know what he looked like. He's like, yo, that's my record. I'm like, really? That's you? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, no doubt. He signed it. I was like 13 years old. So like just seeing that and shit, and I just kept, pushing. Like I said, I connect with Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
So like I started being able to say, oh wow, this could happen for me. You know what I'm saying? And then once I got my own distribution deal, I hit the ground running, bro. I don't have no manager. I don't have no booking agent. I've been all over the world.
Wow.
I survive off my rap music.
Wow.
I don't have a manager, bro. Find one rapper, like on my level that doesn't have a manager. You got dudes who do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this is my manager, fucking Joe Schmo.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, really? That's great. You know what I mean? That's great. It's like, so I feel like I do, I get it done better on my own. And then I have my girl, my partner here, who she learns from just on her own. Like I don't have to sit there and teach her. Like she sees just from my intuition and like, so we just run our own book and shit together. Yeah, and we've been all over the place together. Fucking Rome, Sicily, fucking all through Italy, France, Germany, Czech Republic, Norway, Sweden, Canada. We've done obviously USA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just through my travels, I was able to meet D12. I just produced the whole album for Swifty from D12, Swifty McVeigh?
Yeah, man.
Shout out to fucking D12. His last album, me and her basically produced together.
Wow.
Like, she does a lot of choruses, we fucking did a lot of beats together.
Yeah. Well, you on the buttons as well.
Yeah, well, most people don't realize that because I stopped pushing myself as a producer because I knew I could make more money as a rapper and touring. So people don't realize I produced more than half of my music. You know Mr. Hyde from Necro? You didn't know that I produced his whole second album, right?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, some guy today was like, yo, I love your verse on Mr. Hyde's album. I said, oh, I produced all those beats. He goes, really?
You made all
Because it ain't like when we
beats.
were kids where you open up the book and you read the credits.
Yeah.
Me, the first thing I did if I bought a fucking tape or a CD is I rolled my blunt, I popped it in my Walkman or my CD player, and I sat there and smoked, and I read the credits while I listened to it. Who engineered it? Who produced it? And then even back in the day when I was trying to find distribution, I'd flip the records back over and find the record label name. And I would find their address, and then I would send them demos or send them shit like that.
Wow, so it's just being like intuitive as well, like, and just being like. So, like, where did you get that from? You know what I mean?
Just being poor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not having any money. And, like, seeing people who suck. And, like, well, how is he? I can't even front. I don't mean no disrespect to him. You know what pushed me to get into Europe? You know who Lord Lust is?
Yeah, I do. I battled him in 2013 and beat him in.
That's what's up. I'd love to see that footage.
But
listen, I got no malice towards the guy.
He's the dude though. He was in England.
Listen, and I know he had his problem with Snow Goons, and I'm always gonna back Snow Goons, but that time is dead. I'm keeping it real.
I know he's still
I
working.
saw footage of him before I'd ever been to Europe. I'd been to Canada, and I was starting to get a buzz. I saw footage of him performing at like a festival in Europe, and the crowd wilding out. And I was like, I'm a better rapper than this guy. You know, it's just being real. Like, I'm not saying he's not. He's a good guy. He's a talented guy. But I was like, I'm better than this guy. How the fuck is he out there?
Yeah, I seen him after I battled him.
He did his thing, bro. You can't knock
pictures
the
of
guy.
him in Sweden with loads of people.
Yeah, he's done his thing.
I do understand what you're saying.
I knew that I had the fans out there because I was constantly getting hit up on MySpace and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta get out there. And by the next year, I was on that same festival.
And were you getting like people hitting you up from Europe back then?
Yeah, all the time. That's the thing, all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Directly.
Everywhere, from Europe, Australia, everywhere. Like, and I was like, wow, this is crazy.
So yeah, you just knew that like you had a fan base.
Yeah, and then, I don't know if you remember Hip Hop Connection magazine?
No.
In England?
No.
HHC magazine, Hip Hop Connection. You don't remember that magazine? It was
No,
like
I don't remember that
It was like one of the
magazine.
biggest rap magazines in England.
Word up,
I was on
yeah.
the cover of that shit in 2008 with Necro and Q Unique and Shabbat from Nonfiction. That was like my first big break in England.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
on the cover of that magazine.
Yeah.
And it was like 50 Cent was in the issue, Nas was in the issue, and we were on the cover.
Yeah, fucking hell. Like,
So a lot of people from England saw me on that cover.
Yeah.
And that's how, progressively, like it builds up.
Yeah, definitely. So what was the name of that magazine again?
Hip Hop Connection, man. I'm surprised you don't know that, man.
Hip Hop
All my
Connection.
England heads, man.
I'm slipping
Hip Hop
out
Connection.
here,
Shout out
man.
to Adam, man.
I'm
Adam
getting
used to
told.
run, I forgot his last name, but a guy named Adam used to run it. And he came to interview us in New York. I performed at Irving Plaza in Irving Plaza around Times Square in New York. And it was like a big psychological showcase, like me, Necro, Riviera Regime, Q Unique, Mr. Hyde, fucking Ill Bill came out, Psycho Realm from Cali was there, it was crazy. And these guys came and interviewed us.
Yeah.
Actually, I wish I would have had a copy, man. I have some copies at home. I would have gave you one.
And they were there from UK.
And they interviewed us for the magazine, and when that started happening, just things started progressing. Once I started having little things happen, I was like, whoa.
It just spiraled.
I wanted to keep doing more.
Yeah,
I wanted to top it. Everything I did, I want to do better now.
You get the success, right? You get the taste of it.
And listen, right now I'm in that same mood I was in 4 years ago because over the last year I had some personal shit, like family, my father passed and stuff that kind of took me out of the game, and so I hit a little decline. You know what I mean? You know how fans are, bro. One minute it's like, oh, you're the best rapper ever, and if I don't do something that they like for a year straight, they forget about you. They move on to the next one because everybody fucking raps. So now I kind of feel like I'm in a slight down cycle, which excites me in a way because I know I got boxes of ammo left for sure. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you know
sick,
what I mean?
man.
And I know me and her will take on
And
any
you're
challenge.
independent, so you can just do what the fuck you want to do. Like, you know what I mean?
exactly.
All right, that's brilliant, man. That's really inspiring, just even for me personally. Like,